So a press conference, Leon Draisaitl got into with Jim Matheson. Jim Matheson, who I did not know was a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame, apparently he is, longtime reporter, a meme on Twitter. Great, used to be one of the best segments the SDP ever did. We're reading his tweets. I'll never forget them. Jim Matheson basically asked him, what do the Oilers need to do better? And Leon said everything in a very sort of dead sounding tone because his team sucks and he's a Rocky Richard Hart winner, and for obvious reasons. And Jim Matheson just goes, why are you so pissy, Leon? That's a quote. He called him pissy twice because Leon asked him what. Now, obviously, Leon said, I'm just answering your question. Jim Matheson strikes back. Not a very good answer. And it sparked a bit of a hoopla around. I'm going to read you guys. I'm going to read you guys two tweets here from Mark Spector and
my God, Mark Spector
and Michael Trakos.
Oh, even better.
Which one would you like first?
Mark Spector.
Here's a look at Leon Draisaitl delivering whatever the Oilers' message is in the media. Legit question. Immature, dismissive answer. That is not leadership. I will remind you that the legit question was, why are you so pissy? A reporter, a Hockey Hall of Fame, he's probably an honored member because media, asked a player, why are you so pissy? I don't recall him ever asking Wayne Gretzky that question, by the way. From Michael Trakos, not a good look. Jim Matheson is a pro's pro. You don't get into the Hockey Hall of Fame for nothing. I hope the next time Leon sees Matty, there's an apology coming out of his mouth.
So the Michael Trakos tweet, is that did he retweet the fake Jim Matheson account? Because I know Steve Simmons did.
I did not see that. Oh my gosh.
From what I see in this screenshot, he's quote tweeting the Tim and Friends video.
Okay.
So at least he's using Canadian media. Then again, I don't know.
So nice of him.
Sorry, when I first saw that, all of us went through J school.
Correct.
Yeah.
They don't tell us to talk to someone in a media scrum like that. Just move on. There's other questions.
Yeah, I think they're like, hey, you know what you don't do? Ask someone if they're pissy as a question.
I think, all of us were very early in our career, but for me, I just kind of felt unprofessional in a way that you would take a player's remarks personally.
Yeah.
Yeah. The thing, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say he sounded personally attacked by it.
Yeah. I think there's fault on both sides, a little bit on Leon, but very much more on Jim Matheson's part. Yes, okay, by answering everything, I get it. But I don't think that means you can call a player pissy. If you're I think what what this group of people seem to be forgetting is if you are in Leon Draisaitl's situation, you're 2-14-2 in your last 16, and you just lost to the Ottawa Senators, who, despite what Pierre Dorian says, are not done their rebuild. And you have someone ask you, are you pissy? Or why are you pissy? How are you going to respond? I would not respond very nicely. I will tell you that right now. I would not respond nicely if someone said that to me in a press conference after a game.
And I think for me, I agree with that, Alex, that this whole thing we've been talking about with the Oilers these last few weeks, aside from the Evander Kane situation, is we know that there is a lot of tension there. The Mikko Koskinen comments, him speaking out about it, them saying that, we're not scoring, we're not finding anything there. And it is true. What would you expect the guy to say to this? He's not going to throw, that's what I have to commend Leon Draisaitl for. He didn't throw anyone under the bus.
He also wasn't, not like he was aggressive. There was a follow-up of, is it good for you to show your frustration on the ice? And Leon just laughed and said, yeah, it's great. Leon Draisaitl could have bitten back really hard. He could have made it worse. If he had done that, I think I would give a lot of crap to him, but he didn't. So here's the thing with Leon Draisaitl saying, oh boy, hold on. Let me just check something here, guys. The Oilers, they're bad. You want to quickly? If I screen share something, can you just quickly read it? It's what Elliot Friedman said.
Sure. This is from, I'm assuming, 32 Thoughts. Thought number 6, the Oilers are changing course on this issue because missing the playoffs is not an option and the frustration is boiling over. By changing course, I assume that means the goaltending. Scouting meetings are in California this week, so owner Daryl Cates can be heard firsthand. I don't get too riled up about the Jim Matheson, Leon Draisaitl skirmish. It happens, particularly when teams are losing. I've been on the receiving end, try to roll my eyes and move on. The added challenge now is with restricted access due to COVID, there's no opportunity for a media member and a player to privately sort things out. Only adds to the disconnect. What I would be concerned about from an Oilers point of view is the open frustration from Connor McDavid, Draisaitl, Zach Kassian, and others. It's multiple people over multiple days. That's really bad. Only wins stop an avalanche of negativity.
So, going back a second.
Yeah.
Leon Draisaitl, was he wrong saying they need to do everything better?
No.
They don't have saves. No. They can't defend. That game against Ottawa, I think, was a 3-1 lead they blew. Scoring has been a mess. It doesn't help that Leon and Connor, I think, are shooting really, really low. Like their shooting percentage is really bad right now.
Yeah.
And that's going to sort itself out. And when it does, it's going to be terrible for whoever they blow up against. Maybe it's Florida. Hey, Bob Gardner, I'm just trying to ruffle your feathers a bit there. But yeah, it's Daryl Cates' names being mentioned is not. You never want the owner involved, but no. You got to realize. I think it's important. What do I always say? Perspective. If you're Jim Matheson, what you need to do is put yourself in Leon Draisaitl's shoes. If you're about to ask him, why are you pissy? Listen, yeah, if it is in the locker room, I've seen a lot of reporters say like it would be hashed out and that. I believe that. It's just at the same time, they're two adults, and maybe soon they're gonna laugh about it once the Oilers can get some wins. Yeah, but it's just that. I thought it was unprofessional. I didn't like it, and it's just you expect better from a reporter of that sort of experience.
Yeah, can I just add a point? Sure. Mark Spector's tweet you brought up there talks about leadership. I'm just very curious at where Duncan Keith is in all of this, because, remember when Duncan Keith came to Edmonton, Mark Spector and Gene Principe just, talked about Duncan Keith's leadership and how important it was. So where is he? And second, so I have 2 points. Second point, they keep asking all these players what the issue is, and they all get frustrated when they don't have an answer. It's, well, we got to do everything better, which is true. But when they had the opportunity to interview or talk to Ken Holland, the general manager, the man who constructed this team, when Ken Holland answered with, it is what it is, and this is, I believe in this team, we're not going to give up prospects or first round picks, there was no pushback. There was zero pushback to that. Why?
Me apparently, I think it was on insider trading. I think one of you put on the doc. I think I actually got rid of it, so sorry. But Apparently insider trading, they still believe in this team. No, absolutely not. Going to leadership, man, what more can Leon Draisaitl do? It's Leon Draisaitl. You don't go to an MVP and be like, no, how dare you? How dare you? This is the thing about, I hate repetition, right? I hate repeating. I hate it so much. Hence why I stopped listening to Hockey Central at noon. And Leaf segments for the longest time on SDP. I was sick about hearing their defense. I was sick of it. If I'm a hockey player and you keep asking me, what's wrong here? What's wrong with this? What's wrong? You're expert. You should know. You can easily write about and tweet about this. Blah, 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 blah. I don't know if it was post game or something, but you could tell Leon was just dude, I don't know what Matheson was expecting. Especially, you can't push someone and then expect not to be pushed back. That's what, and I'm not mad at Spector or Tracos because that's them standing up for one of their guys. I understand that. It's so dumb. This whole thing. It's on freaking Holland.
You know what it
I
reminds me
hate
of?
to see what.
When there's clearly someone is dealing something, and then you ask, "Are you okay?"
And they're just kind of like, there's a frustration of like, see, in the moment like that, it's like when you stub your toe. I'm like, I appreciate you asking me that, but at this very moment, I'm in so much pain where I don't want to speak to anyone right now.
Mm-hmm.
It's so it's pissy.
The only thing I'd push back on about Leon Draisaitl, not necessarily with Jim Matheson, but I think Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, I will say they are the captain and assistant captain of this team. And the fact that Brendan Perlini and Darnell Nurse have better answers and have much better press conferences than them in terms of I saw Brendan Perlini's press conference. He did not look, not that he didn't look mentally drained, but he gave a damn good answer. And you want that as a leader. That is the only thing I'll say, but I understand why Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl are not in that mood anymore because it's been like 5 or 6 years.
Perlini was like a rainbow. I will say, I will counter that saying Brendan Perlini does not have the pressure that Leon and Connor do, but then Nurse, we know, especially when that contract kicks in, that's fair. Perlini though, like, I don't want to rag on, be like, you're depth player, but he's not going to get the same attention. But I will say that press conference, I wanted to give him a hug. Perlini was such a breath of fresh air. I love that guy.
Yeah.
And again, they're looking at goalies still. Some of them have already been named. We mentioned them earlier, like Ville Husso. I think they were speculating on.
I don't know why. Like, sorry, I just I don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking Ville Husso. Like, not dunking on the guy, but I'm just saying.
Well, first off, if you're St. Louis, why you don't have another goalie? Well, this is the one I was looking at. I'm like, also they were speculating on it on the Jeff Merrick show today. Vinik Vanacek. If the Capitals trade Vinik Vanacek, I will lose it on both them and Seattle, by the way. And I don't know if Fucale has shown enough recently to be like, I'm good enough to be that. That's kind of weird. That's kind of weird. But Edmonton, can you please figure it out? Because at this point, like, I don't want the media pushing both Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid out of the sport. And I'm not excusing McDavid, especially that Evander Kane quote. Was not great. I don't remember if I was even on the show for that, but that was awful. I think I was, but whatever. Okay. Some news.
So, wait, just to confirm, the answer is not in the room.
God, no, it's not. It is not at all.